Oh, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Sorry, there's hi, coaching. Bungle Alf is having a moment. Bless his little socks. He's just having a moment. I was so impressed with him being good behaved with Bungle. He doesn't chase him anymore now. I was thinking, oh, that's a good sign. And then he's just decided to bark for 10 minutes. So most of these are my not favourite brushes, although some are in quite good condition. I need something that's got a fairly good point, because that one's completely trashed. That's completely trashed, that one, but it'll do for glue or something. That's a Derwent one. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, I think I might use that one actually. So I've got a couple here. So I can get rid of those. These are my acrylic ones, but there isn't one small enough really for what I want to do. I don't know where I put the smaller ones. So we've got most sizes. I don't really need a big one at the moment, I don't think. I wanted to play with colour today. And if Alfie doesn't behave himself, he'll be thrown out. That's a smaller one, that might do. And that's a little wedge one actually. That might be quite nice to use. So I thought I'd play with colour today, ready for the Thursday colour show. Some of these sheepy ones do actually hold their shape quite well, and that's what we want. We want a good lot of colour on the end of our brush, and then we need to manipulate it around. So I think that will do. I think that's going to be okay. I'll keep that one up just in case. Two of my old favourites. I'm going to move these out of the way now because we don't need them. And I just have to show this. Oh, he was asleep. He was asleep on my tray. Weren't you, Bungle? Were you asleep on my tray? He's getting a heavy boy now. Let me just put him somewhere. I'll put you back, Bungle. It's uncomfortable in there. There we go. Right. I thought that was uncomfortable. So what I thought I would do is, these are, they are Artist Heavy Body, but they didn't stick on that thing, so that was okay. They didn't stick, as long as they didn't stick. So I'm going to be working with my 6 favourite colours, and I didn't get out and I don't know what possessed me to throw them into. So I need black and white out as well. So just get black and white, because I don't normally use black and white, but we're going to use it in this colour mixing. Well, there should be a black. So I did take these out because they were mixed in with the oils. So I'll pop these to one side, but I found white, but I haven't found black, which is unusual because it's obviously a set. And that was my original one that I had a long time ago, but they're still. some acrylics. And we can make a black, but black. These are my favourites. So we have the 2 yellows, 2 reds, the 2 blues, and I've got black and white. And for some reason I can't find black. Let's see if I can find some black acrylic. I find a black. It's not looking good for black. I'll have to make one. Never mind. I can make black. I can make a black quite easily. So actually, that's quite good. It's just, I'll let you know where it is. I would have liked to know where the acrylic ink is. Just can't think off the top of my head. So we'll have to make a black. I don't know if they could buy. So a black would, so that will make a black. Or I could add the darker brown. I could, it'll be a dark, which is fine. Right, I don't need any of these. It's just strange that I've got all these colours and I don't have black. But again, I think my daughter's got that, so she might be able to find black. Whoopsie. Oh, so on my travels, yes, on Saturday, I found, I'll put those to one side. I think that's in there. Sorry guys, going to get organised. Just put those brushes somewhere safe because they're all my watercolour brushes, my large watercolour brushes that I don't, those too fluffy and nice to use. I'll put them in there. So I've got the brushes handy, I've got the paints handy. In my favourite colour order, which is what they're in here, which is yellow, cadmium red, Lysian crimson, French ultramarine, cerulean blue, and I've got white over here. And I'll make black here. So that'll be my first job, to make black. So I did fill this little spritzer with water. They are quite wet, but just make them wet. I put a patch there. I need a clean baby wipe probably, I think. So let's put this Havana brown. Hopefully it's a darker brown. So we'll put that there. And I'll put some blue with it. I'll put ultramarine blue. And we'll see what that does. Fortunately, the cream is I've got more like a Payne's grey at the minute because brown and French ultramarine does Payne's grey. So it's a dark grey, but it's not a black. So I'm going to put a bit of had red. The problem with these is I tend to drop everything these days. That's a bit. So I've gone back to being a brown again now. So because there was red in the. Oh dear, it's not going to work today, guys, with the dogs. No, I can't seem to get a dark today. Right. I do not know where my black acrylic ink. I bet she's used black, hasn't she? I just hate kids. You need 3 primary colours to make black. But I don't use black, so I don't really want to make a lot of it. I'll put a bit more out on that. It's not a black, it's a warm black. It's not Payne's grey because it's a bit warm, is that? Have a look at that and see what it looks like. I don't think I want that blue out there. That's made it a grey. Gone through now. And it's only for tonal value. I'm going to have to do a bit more French ultramarine, I think. I don't normally like blacks. I normally like so it's a dark colour, but it's not quite black. It's a dark grey at the minute, so as long as it's a neutral dark. If it's too brown, it will send everything a pink shade. I think that's dark enough. That I think that might do. We'll see how it does anyway. It's only to darken to make tones and shades, so actually it should be fine. Oh, I've got stuck up already. I haven't got many left of these now, so that's good. So it's not the perfect grey, but black, but it's a probably it's darker than a Payne's grey. It's a dark grey. So it's going to have to do to tone down these colours. For coffee this morning, I haven't had many. I'll spray. I don't normally do this, so it's a new thing for me. It's a new thing for me. When all the water's clean, I'll fill this up. And this was a hand sanitizer, but it's just got plain water in it now. And I find that's the best one. I think I'll leave those down there. Messy now, look. I'll get rid of that. And I do have some face wipes, but I'll just end up with these baby ones. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. Right, so I've made a dark. It's not black, but it's a dark. So that's fine. That is going to tone down these. And the idea of the colour wheel, if we go, I'm going to put this to one side carefully because I'm such a clumsy girl and I have lots of other things hidden around. So I've got my watercolour things for this afternoon for finishing the owl. So I think I could do with, goodness sake, you stupid things. So I'm going to put that to one side. And I thought I'd work on this. This is a cheapy pad. It's a Crawford and Black. They're about £2 or £3. I'm going to tear this out. It does say for acrylics, acrylic painting pad. So I don't think they're really any good for acrylics, but they'll be perfect for what we want. So I'm going to be doing this slightly different. I'll be working crossways and coming down because obviously this is round. So I found this create a colour wheel. Make sure my fingers are clean. I think I'm going to be doing it in gouache because I've actually got black gouache. So what you do is, this is the first page and you colour these colours in here. So you've got red, yellow, blue, white and black. And now I kind of like my colours. So I'm going to be using slightly different. Now when I do this on Thursday, I will be using the colours that they suggest because I've got them. So I'll be using that's number 1, that's page 2, that's page 2, that's page 3. It's colour wheel 4, colour wheel 3. 2. And 1. And these are instructions. So paint the colours in the space below the colour name red, yellow, black, blue and white. So I'm going to be using mine along, probably I do it this way, I think. And I was going to do little squares and things, but I've got to be careful I don't lose the little wheel because that's what makes makes it actually. I just put that to one side. So I know it's there. So I need a marker. Hopefully you can see this. Yes, I'll use this new pencil. So I'll work on this side. So I want red, but I'm going to have, am I going to do it a colour wheel? Yes, I think I'm going to do it a colour wheel. I can't find my compasses though. It could be anywhere. No, I'll work downwards. So I need, I'm going to do, and I'm going to put yellow at the top. So I'm going to put that's what I want to create. So we have the colours, and then we're going to have the tints and the tones. So adding red, adding yellow, and adding blue, adding white, and adding black. So that's what we're going to do. That's why we needed the black. So I think I could put mix 50-50 of these colours together. That's what I'll do. Then I'll only have one. So we want yellow. Let's have a quick look at this. I have one of these with holes in that may work, I think. I mean, this is just a practice in acrylics because I didn't really want to do it in acrylics, but since I had them out yesterday. Not sure if that would do this. Oh, for goodness sake. No, it's not going to work. I gave my daughter the pin. I gave her a pin and she didn't give me one. Might work. I think the space is big enough really, but here we go. We want 7. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8. So use electric eraser. That was the easy bit. Now the hard bit is yes, half and half. I don't think I can do this. And I need in between there is about there. So again, I don't really like guessing. I just don't do geometry or I just don't do things like this. So if that was half, and that's not half, then is it? No, that's half. Oh, those two are right. So I need to do that one. Oh, I to go. So we want that one half. And that's completely wrong. But it's a bit out, is that one? So it's only that one that's out. No, it's not, that one's out. No, do that one. Right, that will have to do. So we should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, 6, 8, 10, 12. Right, so you go across and across, and 2 and 2. So why didn't I do that? Across and across, and 2. We could be here all day, guys. Sorry. Honestly, I can't do a circle. So we go across and across. Those 2 are right, and all the others are wrong. Oops, we know these 2 are right. So they were all wrong. I don't have a compass, unfortunately. The only saving grace, so that's square. So that's definitely right. Those 2 are right. That one. And that one's a bit out. That one. Right. That's not right. I'll eat my hat. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Right. So before we start messing about, let's just write this in. I'm doing it in pencil. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got, write the names in. So I'm going to start at the top there. So we've got yellow. I might put them on the outside so that if I need an extra square for whatever reason. Yellow. Yellow, green. Green. Blue, green. Green. Sorry, blue. Green, blue, blue. Blue, green. Oh, that's not blue, green. That's blue, violet. Violet. red, violet, red, red, orange, orange, and yellow, orange. So basically, my colours should sit like this. So we've got yellow, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, and cerulean blue is near the green. So that's how my colours sit on here. So what we need to do is mix cadmium yellow and lemon yellow together to get a medium yellow. Cerulean blue, that's probably going to be a cobalt blue. That would be, they call them primaries, and this one would be, I don't think there's any between these two. Primary red. So that I'm only playing with one colour, because if I do two colours, it'll get too complicated. I personally prefer 6, but we'll do it the easy way. So on a little board here, I take, they're all about the same amount of colour. So I'm just going to take that blue and I'm just going to bring it forward, because if I use the colours again, they'll go back in their original spots. So I've got cerulean blue and French ultramarine, and they're going to make, oh, I've got a little bit of yellow on there. Never mind. They're going to make almost a cobalt blue, royal blue. It's a bright blue. So it's not cold, it's not near the greens, and it's not near the purples. It's a medium colour, and that's what we want. We want just a bog standard blue that is in between both of the colours, and that's exactly what we've got. Okay, make sure you do the edges, and then we're going to take the alizarin crimson and the cad red, and we're going to mix those together. Now I might need a bit more cad red. This is almost like a scarlet lake, so we don't want a scarlet, we don't want a orange red, and we don't want a pink red. We kind of want one that's in the middle, and I think that's slightly pink, because that was a bit bigger, so I'm going to put a tiny bit more cad red in there. We kind of want a, and that's what it says, actually says on the, we don't want a red to go one way or the other. Now the only thing I'll say about that is purples won't be as bright, but it doesn't matter, we'll talk about that later. It'll confuse the issue. This is just bog standard set in stone colour mixing, not my colour mixing, and I hate to do this. And then last of all, we're going to take the cadmium yellow and the lemon yellow, and again you're looking for a bright yellow, but it's not too, it doesn't lean towards orange and it doesn't lean towards green, and I think we can call that a primary yellow. I'm just going to make a tiny bit more, because you don't want to, You don't want to kind of run out halfway through. And this little palette knife, because it has a little dip on it, is probably right. So I'll get rid of this baby white. Now I usually use rags when I'm using this, but just because I'm all stuck up. So we've got some colours. We've got primary blue, primary yellow, and primary green, blue, red, and yellow. So primary colours. Everything is tipped up today. It's just horrible in this room. Right. And just have a mouthful of coffee. I really don't think this is going to work today. It's just not. I don't have a decent brush. I feel that. This is that one. And I haven't mixed enough colour here. You need far too much, and I'm too much of a tight yacht lass to be bothered with this, to waste my gouache. So we've got the yellow. So we'll put the yellow in here. Oh, I've got to waste this now. I hate colour mixing. Absolutely hate colour mixing. Can't use that brush. It feels like it's falling off all the time. Oh, I feel like they're falling off all the time. Goodness gracious. Right, we've got primary yellow, so now we want, I think this red is a bit pink actually. Yep, I need some more cadmium red in there. It's definitely too pink. That's better. It cannot look. So where's my red? Red goes there. So that is a plain red. And the blue goes there. Oh, that's a bit insipid. That's not, that doesn't look right. Know why? I'm going to put that there. Right, so let's make green. haven't made a lot of green, so I can't make it with that. I've got to make it with that. I haven't got enough colour. I hate colour mixing with this. Oh well, there's our green. So with some purple. This is not going to make a nice purple. I can tell you now, because the blue is the wrong blue. And the red I've made brown. Now I've taken all that blue off. I can't do this. I don't agree with it. That is not a purple. So I can't do it with these colours because I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. It's not how I was taught, and I cannot do it like that because they don't work. You cannot get a purple with a primary red. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't do it. You need a pink red. And because the red has got yellow in it to make it a cadmium red and a primary, you can't do it. You cannot get a purple from a primary red. So I just can't do this. Sorry, I just can't do it. It won't work. Doesn't matter what you do. And I can't do it. I can't do it because it's wrong. It doesn't teach people anything about colour at all. Because blue and red make brown unless you have a pink. That's not a pink. You cannot get a purple. And I just can't do it because it's not right. And I wish I'd not bought the damn thing now. So that's my purple. That's my violet. And it doesn't work. You can only get purple if you have French ultramarine and alizarin crimson. You can get a lovely orange because that's near the cad red. So we can get a beautiful orange. I'm ruining this now because I can't be bothered with it. You get the best orange, but you will never get a purple. And I'm just wasting paint and getting frustrated because this is why it doesn't work. You cannot get purple unless you use a pink red. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't do it. The only way to do remark it. Orange. It's a dull orange because you've got alizarin. You need the nearest ones. So it's just not. It's a purple brown, is that? It's not even a purple. You just cannot do it. And I bought this now, which was a waste of £8 because I can't do it. It will not work. A cobalt blue is not purple enough. Although it's purplier than that one, purple. A cobalt blue is slightly more purple. That's more like a primary. I've made a primary and it will not work. So I don't know what to do, guys. I'm just going to I'll scrap this. It doesn't work. Oh, hi, Melody. It's not going to work, guys. I cannot do it because it's against everything I've been taught, and it doesn't work. You cannot get a purple without Elysian crimson, without a pink red. You cannot get a bright orange. That's like a burnt orange because you don't have a cadmium red. It's got pink in it. It just will not work, and I can't make it work. Because when you turn the colour wheel wrong, I wish I'd never bought the damn blooming thing now. Because it's just a waste of money because it will not work. Unless I make the secondaries from my colours. But it won't work from 3 primaries. It's impossible. Sorry, guys, I'm having a meltdown. I'm having a meltdown. It just will not work. I can't do it. It's just against everything I've ever been taught. I just cannot see. I just cannot do it. I cannot do it. And the only way I can do it is if I make my secondaries with my colours. I'll have to split the red. If I split the reds, it will work. If I split the yellows, it will work. And if I split the blues, it will work. So I'll have to split the red and the yellow and the blue. Otherwise, it's just not going to work and it will drive me insane. So that yellow works until that orange, that red works till that one, that yellow works till then, that blue works till that one, and that blue works till that one, and that red works till that one. So that might work. Yeah, it's impossible. I don't know how I'm going to make this work because I just know how I'm going to make this work. See, your cad red is not pink. It's not a pink red. So your purple is going to be pants. I mean, the cadmium yellow is going to make a green, but it's not going to make brightest green because it's not a bright yellow. I just cannot. I thought PB28. Oh, PB29 is French ultramarine. French ultramarine is BP29, isn't it? Yeah, BP29 is its color. 29 is, so it's near it. 29 is ultramarine. 28 is cobalt. But I just can't see this working. I'm going to have to scrap that. No, Melody, it just won't work because you cannot get a bright purple with a primary red and a primary blue. And they suggest you cobalt blue, which is slightly purpler than that one, but it's still, you've got cadmium red. And it's against everything I've been taught. But, you know, it's a colour wheel that everybody buys. But when you mix a cerulean blue with a cadmium red, you're going to get brown. You're not going to get purple. You need these two for purple. The only thing I can do is to split it. I mean, I do have a rotary pen, so I can actually redesign this. Because they're mainly tonal values. So the only ones I have to change is the purple, the green. I only have to change the secondary colours. I can still use the primary colours. So when you add, you see what you have to do then is you... Let me think how we can do it. If I change the secondary colours, so I make purple with those, I make orange with those, and I make green with the others, all I'm then doing is adding white. So it will work that way, and I'll just have to add the primary to them, which it isn't brilliant. But it does say cadmium red, cadmium yellow, cobalt blue, titanium white, and ivory black. Now then, I do have those in gouache. I think I have a cobalt blue in gouache. You see, I think Spectrum, this is primary blue. It's not a cold blue and it's not a warm, but you can't make purple from primary blue. You can make a beautiful dull one, but you can't make so Spectrum, and that's primary, but we want a pink. We need a pink. We don't want, I'm just getting a bit cross with myself now. I mean, primary is a bit warmer, and then I've got a lemon, so that's okay. Look at these two. I think we said these might be okay. Sorry, guys. Well, that primary red is actually a pink, so it's not what they said. They said you don't want a pink red and a white red. So, yeah. So what I'm going to have to do, because then we're adding for the tints, the tones. Ow. Yeah. So that might work. So, but I just can't do it like this. Sorry, guys. I just cannot go against what I've always been taught with colour. Oh, no, they weren't purchased. It was an art shop. It's an art shop. It was Fred Olsen. It's been going from 1880, 50 something, I think. It's a proper art shop. But, and it was with all the other colour wheels. I can't find my colour wheels, but again, you know, they're not, but that's fine. I know what I'll do. I can do it as long as I make, I can do it two ways. I can either split the reds, the blues and the yellows, and I can use my lemon yellow for the greens, and I can use, so I can do it that way. And I've only got another split. Now you can see when it opens up, all it will be is, you'll still see the colors, but I'll have two and I make a choice. So again, actually that's better because I know that I have a lemon yellow or I have a warm, an orange yellow. So actually it probably will work, but it's not working here because that's not the brightest green, that's not the brightest orange, and that's not the brightest violet. And yet I've done exactly, I've used a primary color. I've used something that's not pink and it's not orange. I've used a middle red, I've made a middle blue and a middle yellow, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It can't work. Think of printer inks. A printer ink cannot make a purple unless it has Elysian crimson. We can make a purple blue, but we can't make a cold blue. You can't take the red out of cerulean blue. There is no red in cerulean blue whatsoever, but there is red in French ultramarine, which is what gives it its purple tint. It's the same with cadmium red, cadmium yellow. Lemon yellow is in your printer. That's the brightest yellow. You add color to it. So you add red to a lemon yellow to make a cadmium yellow. You know, we've done this. The printer inks are these colors: pink, bright yellow, and bright cold blue. And you can make every color from here. But in order to make the orange, we have to make a cad red. I mean, it would work with these colors, but it would work with these colors. It's just the greens. Sorry, guys. I won't. I'm not recording this. I'll scrap it because it's not going to work. I'm going to have to split them and use cadmium red that way and Elysian crimson that way. And I can actually write that on here. I can write on here Elysian crimson. Sorry, cadmium red, Elysian crimson. So I know that all these purples have got Elysian crimson. I mean, I actually know what I'm doing, but for anybody else, you want it to be simple. So as long as we know to make the orange with a cad red and a cad yellow, we're all laughing. As long as we know to make a green with a lemon yellow and a cerulean blue, we're laughing. As long as we know we've got to use French ultramarine, a purple blue with a pink red, Elysian crimson, we're going to get the brightest violet. And then we're going to get to the tones here. So these are colours. So I've got to add red, to add yellow, to add blue, to add white, to add black. But which yellow and which red do I add? It doesn't matter with the shades, it doesn't matter. Oh, hi, Sandra. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Right. I didn't really want to reinvent the wheel, but I may have to. Pardon the pun. So the tints and the tones are there. It would help if I could find my colour wheel, but I think my daughter's got it upstairs. I'm just thinking if I could split everyone in half. But I wouldn't need to, because as long as I use the red orange that way and that yellow that way, that yellow that way, and that yellow the other way, that blue that way, that means that that's fine, because I would use those colors anyway. Let me have a look at the outside. This one, it's when we're adding these rows, this is what's going to cause the problem when we're doing our tints and tones. Just give me a second. It's not that one. It's this one. So in row 1, we leave it blank. That's fine. So I can do that one. So we have a color and we have tints and tones. Right, it will work, because if I split the reds, the blues and the yellows, I get the orange, the red orange, the yellow orange that I want. I get the green, the blue green, and the yellow green that I want. I get the blue violet, the violet, and the red that I want. And those are then mixed accordingly. So that will work. All I have to do is split the reds, the yellows, and the blues, and put them next to each other. So when you see them, you will see a pink red and a cold red. A pink red and an orange red. So when you're looking at your paints, you can think, well, that's on the pink side and that's on the red side. And then you know which one to add to it. So actually that will work. All I have to do is to split this down the middle and show 2 reds, 2 blues, and 2 yellows, but use those when I mix the colors. So that's what I'm going to do. And I will name mine. I think that might work. So I need to change this one. This is wheel 3, and this is tints and tones. So again, once I've made my green with my selected yellow and blue, that green isn't going to change. It's adding grey, white, and black. But I've already made the green with the correct 2 colours, 2 primaries. So that isn't going to be moved. This one is the second colour wheel, and this is the one where choose a red that does not lean towards violet or orange. I've done that. It didn't work. Orange. Mix the red and the yellow. And have a balanced orange that isn't red and it isn't, but it doesn't work. But anyway, we can do that one. And then what we do is up here, then we mix our tertiaries, which is between each secondary. And then what we do is it says to mix colours for row 3 to 7 of equal parts. So row 3, so add red to each colour in row 3. So this is where I've got to think. I'm going to add red, the violet reds to there. But I don't want to do that. because again, that's going to give us twice as many colours. We could do that. So I could split them. So I'd have to split all of this one. So wheel 1 is already done. Wheel 2 would have to be split. So we'll have Elysian Crimson with them all and Cadmium Red with them all. So that's fine because I'll just split them. And the middle one is black. Add black to create a shade of each colour, and I can just about do that. So that's what I'll do. Sorry guys, I just had a bit of a meltdown. Right, so I need to split that one so that I add 2 yellows, 2 blues, and 2. Oh, actually it works quite well because I need red, yellow, and blue, and then I'm adding white and black. So actually that works quite well. So I need to. So that will work. That will work. So this one wants splitting into 2. First colour wheel, I need to split the reds. So that's going to give me twice as many colours. So that's fine because, you know, we've got 2 reds. That's fine. Now, what's this one? This one is all tints and tones. So we're going to go from the original colour. So we know how to get the best green, the best violet, and the best orange. And then from those, we're going to make the best tertiary colours. And then all we're doing is adding grey, white, and black. So that one works okay in its own right. This is the one I need to split the red, the blue, and the green. So that makes sure that I make, sorry, the blue, the red, and the yellow. That makes sure that I use lemon yellow and cerulean blue for the green. I use French ultramarine and Elysian crimson for the violet, and I use cadmium red and cadmium yellow for my best orange. Right, so I think I've got that. So I'm going to just test this on this one. Sorry guys, again, I just had a bit of a meltdown. So I'll put that to one side for a second. It's just so difficult when you've been taught one way, and it's what gets me annoyed when I see people colour mixing and they're not colour mixing for the best colours. So I need to split this one. I need to split this one, which I did not very well. Right, and do my blue. And I need cerulean blue for that one. French ultramarine. I need Elysian crimson. I spelled crimson wrong, haven't I? Have I spelled crimson wrong? Yep, there isn't an H in it. I can't spell. Crimson red, Elysian crimson, and cadmium red. And then the yellows, I want cad yellow. And I want lemon yellow. And this is where I did actually an extra one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 is primary, 2 is color, 3 was add red, I think, wasn't it? Let me just have a quick look. Row 3 was add red, 4 was add blue, 5 was add, sorry, 4 was yellow, 5 was add blue, 6 was add white, and 7 was add black. Or 2 was left blank. So I'm going to move him down 1. That's fine. So 2 is, you leave 2 blank because I think that's the one that it has the color on it. I didn't think I'd ever have a meltdown with color, but I've had a meltdown with color. Right. So I did put those colors there. They didn't work. I just see if I've got some more grease paper thing about. I mean, I do actually have the Stay Wet palettes to go in here, but I don't normally use them. I'm just having a moment. Oh dear. I just text my daughter and see if she's got some black acrylic upstairs. She may have. Because they will be a grey tone, but they won't be as kind of. Oh dear. I'm going to stop this video, guys, because it's rubbish. It's just not going to work. You think I'm confident enough to redraw the wheel, really. I had some other colours, but I just can't seem to see them. Let's get them in here. I believe I don't have black, but because I don't use it, so I don't tend to buy it because I don't like it. So I thought in the gouache I did have some, and oh, there they are. They're up here. Look. Zinc white. I think I'm going to use permanent white. I think. I'm not sure why I don't have Elysian Crimson. I'm just absolutely bewildered. didn't really want to do it in gouache, but I suppose I've got to do it in gouache. So I've got an ivory black. It's a primary red, but that's pink. And we've got spectrum red. Is dark. You may have to do that. Flame red is an orange red, so it's like a cad red. So got that. I think that one's a bit dark. I don't think that one's. No, it's definitely not. It's a bit pinky, is that one? So we'll use that one. Cerulean blue and French ultramarine. Because I've got a primary blue there, but I'm not going to use it. And I've got a permanent yellow and a primary yellow. I thought I'd seen a lemony yellow, but I hadn't. So I think we'll look at these. They're not brilliant, but they'll do. So again, there's two different ones. That's like a cad. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll use gouache. And we can have a look at these and know that, oh dear goodness. Yep, we've got that cooler blue and that purple blue. And then when we look at the reds, we've got a pinky one and we've got an orangey one. Not the best, but you can see they're not. One's pinkier, oh, so that actually works. So they call it flame red, which is probably a bit orangier than cadmium red, but it'll have to do. I don't know why I don't have a cadmium red. I cannot understand why I don't have a cadmium red. That zinc gouache is gone. I don't need these colours. I've got zinc and permanent. I don't know which one to use, and I've got black. So we'll get rid of everything else. Just don't know where the gouache is. So we'll get rid of this stay wet. And the black was a bit pants anyway, so of course. Go make a hot drink, I think, before I have a melt. Before I have a meltdown. And I'll stop the video and start a new one because that was completely trash. Just have a very quick look to see if I can my gouache. I had so many. Mixed in. Sorry guys, just having a bit of a moment in here. Right, I was right. Zinc white is mixing and then the other white isn't. titanium white isn't. Titanium white and flake white aren't. Zinc white is for mixing. So I've got those two, and I've got those two, and I've got that one. I'm just looking for. It's not quite the one I wanted. What do I have to do? Oh, and I've got a Payne's Grey actually. And there's a zinc white that I've obviously opened and used. So colour-wise, I've actually got them in my water-based oils more than I have, because I don't have a black in the acrylics. I've got an ivory black in here as well, so okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in gouache. And I'm going to, because my daughter wants to do an oil painting next week or this week, she wants to do a big painting and she wants to do some oil painting with me. We might do a paint along one day. I've got a 5 foot by 5 foot canvas that I want to start. And I'm a bit like, I've got a helper, so she can do all the, like Michelangelo, she can do all the background and I'll just go and fill in the best bits. Right, so I'm sorted. So if you were going to do a colour wheel, the perfect colours, if you're going to do this on Thursday with me, but I'm going to stop this video in a second and redo it, but thanks guys for stopping by. So we need a Payne's Grey and an ivory black and a zinc white. Zinc white is for mixing, ivory black is not a dark, too dark, and Payne's Grey. And this is for the colour wheel. This is for this colour wheel here. This is what we're going to do on Thursday. So you can do it in oils, you can do it in acrylics, you can do it in gouache, in watercolour. You could do it in neos if you wanted. You can do it in any water-based, any medium you want that you like for colour mixing. So there for the tints, the tones and the shades. And then we need a cadmium yellow light. So basically we want a cool lemon yellow and we want a cadmium yellow. So we want a yellow that's near an orange, and then we want one that's near a green, if that makes any sense. Then we want cerulean blue, French ultramarine, and we want, which is a cold blue and a purple blue. And then we need a cadmium red, which is an orange red, and a permanent rose or an Elysian crimson, which is a pink red. And if we have these, we can do the colour wheel. So looking at this, we've got ivory black. Oh, guys, I've got such a mess. This is why I don't do things. It's a messy girl. I've got everything cacked up now with pink. So this is this one, and of course they're called different things, so don't think you haven't got that colour. So we're looking for a pinky red. So we've got permanent rose, and we've got, it says primary red, but primary red to me sometimes is the middle red. And then we have gouache, cerulean blue. We have, this is called permanent yellow deep, which means it's a bit warmer. It's a bit orangier. And then this one is primary yellow, but actually it looks cooler. So it's a colder yellow. And then this one says flame red, but I'm going to use it as a cadmium red because it's an orange red. Then we've got an ultramarine. Now they say cobalt blue. Now cobalt blue is probably there. Well, it is there because this is 29, PB29, and Cobalt Blue is PB28. So it's next to it, but it's just not quite as purple as French Ultramarine. And this gives you the best purple, which is why I know that a primary blue will not give you, it'll give you a beautiful shadow, a dull purple, but we want a bright purple. And then we have the zinc white and I don't know why I put that one there. I didn't have the Payne's grey because again, I don't think it came in here. Just bear with me a second. But again, that's not going to bother me too much because I can make a Payne's grey, but we'll see if we've got a Payne's grey. Sometimes they put it into colours. In fact, I might actually do this. Again, I've got a cobalt blue. In my watercolours, I don't think I have. Oh, there is a black. There's not much left of it. Yeah, it's hard, is that one. Just colour everywhere. I'm such a messy girl. So these are out of this big box. I thought there were a lot more than that. Again, you see these are my favourite. So if you've got watercolours, the Cotmans, these are brilliant. Cadmium, Alizarin Crimson, Cerulean Blue, Lemon Yellow, Cadmium Red. And there should be a French Ultramarine somewhere. Oh, I've got a black. Oh, there's my Alizarin Crimson. I've got another one there. So in here we've got it's a Rose Madder. Just a minute. So if you're using pans, you can still do this. Cadmium red. French Ultramarine. Chinese white. So you can do it in any medium you like. A water-based medium is slightly easier, but there should be 40 some in here, so they should all be here. That's an ultramarine. Again, this is the 40 set, so it gave you 2 of each. Ivory black. It's given permanent rose. Alizarin Crimson. That's a cobalt, but I want a cerulean blue, which is that one. Cerulean blue. If it's a good set, it will have these in. This is your main set, and they always put. There's my lemon yellow. That's my Gamboge. That's cadmium yellow. So we've got our 2 blues, 2 yellows, black and a white, and 2 reds. So you can find these colours in anything. Thursdays all day, but if I haven't got any hospital appointments, I do try to bob on in the morning on a Monday morning, and impromptu Saturday and Sunday. But Thursday from 9 till 6, London Greenwich Mean Time is normally my normal day. I used to do Tuesdays as well, but I don't do Tuesdays. So we've got it in oil, water mixable oils. You've seen those in acrylics. You can buy the little cheap couple of pound set your colour mixing. They're not quite as good, but you can still get some good colours. So you can do this particular thing. Now they say use acrylic, and I would say use gouache, but gouache is expensive. If you've got watercolor and you want to play with gouache, just buy a big tube of white, of the gouache, because if you mix this opaque white with any of your other colors, it's going to give you an opaque gouache type feeling. And then if you like it, then you can go buy a set, but it saves you buying a set if you don't really want to. So you can, I mean, the original 3 colors with these, that's why there's not much left in them. This is the 3 that I bought for 99p. Now they're about £2 or £3 now, but they were on offer. And I made, these are the tubes. There's still about a quarter left. And I made 630 colors from these. So this is lemon yellow, cerulean blue, and alizarin crimson. And these are your printer ink colors. A very, very bright yellow, cyan, cerulean blue, and alizarin crimson, aqua magenta. So these are your printer colors, and your printer can print out any color. So it's just that a French ultramarine I have struggled to find. So I prefer 6 colors instead of 3. French ultramarine. So we need French ultramarine, cerulean blue. So we've got purples, and we've got best greens and best purples. We've got cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, and a cadmium yellow. So we've got our best greens and our best oranges. And then we've got alizarin crimson and a cadmium red. So we've got our best oranges and our best purples. Because if you put these 2 a blue and a red together, you're going to get brown. You're going to get a dirty purple like this. It's going to be a murky purple, which is a beautiful shadow, but you're never going to get those bright purples. And that's why I struggle with color wheels that just have 3 colors in them. So you can use any of these colors on Thursday, and we're going to do the color wheel, but I was just having a practice, and I'm pleased I did, because I would have had a meltdown. So I've got all the colors I need in my oils, my 2 blues, my 2 yellows, and then I've got Payne's grey and ivory black. In the gouache, I don't have this cerulean blue. In the gouache, I don't have a Payne's grey, but I can make Payne's grey, so I'm not particularly bothered, because on this particular color wheel we're getting all the colors, and then we want to put tints, tones, and shades. So we're adding tints is white, tones is grey, and shades are black. So we want to add 5 parts white to 1 part colour, 1 part colour to 1 part grey, 1 part colour to 1 part grey, value 6, and the grey scale is on the back here. This is our tonal scale, our grey scale. So that means, is it a dark or is it a pale? So probably cadmium red would be here, and pink would be there. Peach might be there. Coral would maybe be there. And so they're all tones of pinky reds, peachy reds, but they've got different tonal values. Some are darker and some are lighter, and it's not really adding white, although that's how you do get your tones. So the gouache will be for the actual on Thursday, I was doing it in gouache, but I'm just thinking I might just have a play with these oils. I did want to play with the acrylics, but I failed with that one. Although now I've got those in a different colour. So if you have these two reds, these two blues, and these two yellows, there isn't a colour on the planet you can't make. Now, with water-based product, you add water to make it lighter. But with oils and acrylics, you need white. You don't necessarily need black or Payne's grey. I don't really like these two because I like to make my own tones. And by doing that, you add a complementary colour. And that's what I was going to come to, actually. These tints and tones, it says add Payne's grey and add black. But actually, I like to add my complementary colour to do greys. And I came across this book today, and I've forgotten this page here. It may not have been that one. And there is a couple of my videos about making greys. Yes, of course, Murphy's Law said it wouldn't be that one. It would be this one. So there's a couple of videos about making greys, and these are just complementary colours. So these are taking them, so I've got a green grey, a purple grey, an orange grey, a reddy grey, a yellowy grey. And all these were made without black. And these were the grungy bits. So adding complementary colours to the neos to get some grunge. And I think I was doing that with, I did another grey one here. This is, there's another one that I started with greys. This one was adding complementary colours to each other. So purple and yellow, orange and blue, and dulling them down. So instead of them being really bright, it's a dull. And you can do that by two things. You can use the opposite colours on a colour wheel. So if you want a dull orange, then you don't want on a colour wheel, this is how they sit. So on a colour wheel, this is how they sit. So we're going to have orange there, green there, and purple there. So if you take these two, you're going to have a really nice, bright orange. But if you take these two, and it's a yellow and a red, you're going to get a dull orange, which is quite nice. But if you get the bright orange, you can still get it if you add its complementary colour, but it's nice to mix these two together. So you can mix different reds and yellows together to see different oranges. And that goes for the greens as well. You get lots of different greens by mixing these two, but the brightest two are the ones that are nearest on the colour wheel. The same with the purple. This is what happened with this one. This was a primary, so it was a red here, so it wasn't pink and it wasn't particularly red, it was here, and it wasn't a purpley blue, it was a middle blue. And look how awfully dull that is. A purple, but it's like a shadow, it's a dull dark purple, because I used these two. But if you use these two, you get a bright vivid violet that we like. And that's where I struggle with this one here, because I don't use one red. I use the pink red for the purples and the purple blue for the purples, but I use the red orange for orange, the yellow orange for orange, but I use the colder yellow for greens, and I use the colder blue for greens. I mean, these two will make a green, but they won't make a bright green. These two are best because they're next to each other on the colour wheel. And this is where I was struggling. So I'm going to have to make cadmium red that way and alizarin crimson for all the purple shades, and the blues will be French ultramarine that way, and the cerulean blues will be going to greens. The cadmium yellows will be going to reds, and the cadmium yellow pale or lemon yellow will be doing the greens this way. So that's what I've had to split, because I don't agree with using the middle blue, because you don't get the best greens and you don't get the best purples. I hope that made sense. So I'm not sure what time we're on actually. What time are we on? Because I'm conscious it's Monday and it's Monday. And if I knew on my past, oh, it's 11 o'clock, so we're not doing so bad. So I think my daughter might sit and do this with us on Thursday, because she's doing illustration animation, and she said she'd got this, but if we do it together, she'll get it again, if that makes any sense. And as I said, she wants to do an oil painting as well, so that will be the next couple of weeks. So I think I'm okay with that color wheel. I'm just going to have to use my rotary pen and just relabel some of them so that I can still use them. But again, that would be quite good, because it means that you'll know the differences. A red isn't just a red. We've got a pinky red and we've got an orange red. And that makes a big difference, because if you want to make a brown and you've got alizarin crimson, it will drive you insane until you understand that you've got to make that alizarin crimson into a cadmium red. It's got to be an orange red to get the brown. It can't be a purple blue. It's got to be a cooler blue. And that's why I think sometimes you pick up a color and you think, hang on a minute, why can't I make this color? These are the simple colors that we know. So I'm going to stop this video, and I'm going to come back in a second, and I might just do some coloring because this color wheel has driven me nuts. So I thought it was a good idea, but I don't like the colors they use. I thought I'd try them. I've tried them. I don't like them. So I'll be using my 6 colors instead of their 3, but it will still work quite well. It'll still work, but in my heart of hearts, I cannot make a color wheel that doesn't work. It will drive me insane. But as long as you've got these colors, so for Thursday we need a pink red, an orange red, an orange yellow, a lemon yellow. We need a cool blue and a purple blue. We need zinc white, ivory black, and Payne's grey. And if we have those colors, we can do the color wheel. And if you only have the printer ink colors, don't panic, because I'll show you how to make those. There are quite a few videos I've done from 3 colors, but for the purples and the purple blues, it's slightly easier to have those. But the oranges should look a lot brighter as well. So I shall rejiggle my color wheel. So when I come back, I think I'm just going to do some coloring, because I think I've maxed myself out. I've maxed myself out with that color wheel. I don't want to see it for the day. I was going to continue I was colouring the mushroom, and I've been in watercolour, and these markers show through, but they don't go through, but they are very, very strong. So I was having a play, and the Kirby Roseanne one, I actually used the yellow for the beak and the eyes, and it didn't. No, only when I kind of went over it a few times. You've got to be a little bit careful because they're professional watercolors, but they're very strong. So when I come back, I should be doing that, guys. Sorry about my meltdown. I just thought that was a wonderful idea when I saw it. And it was a bit expensive, but I thought, oh, that'd be perfect for everybody to watch and learn about colour mixing. And then didn't expect it to be a traditional one rather than one that works better. So I shall see if I can make myself a warm drink. So I haven't had a drink yet this morning. And we'll be using the water markers. Now, I did put them in this palette and I didn't use it. So I think I may go back to that. Although I have got my babies here. And I do like this pencil case. It keeps them quite nice. So I tend to put this in the middle, this flap in the middle, and kind of wind it round. And I suppose if I thought about it, I could get a bit of a clasp. I do have a bit of a clip somewhere. I had a clip on my desk a minute ago. So kind of like working with these. My pens just sit quite nicely in there. And I do have the water brushes, but I don't think I used the water brushes. I think I used something else. So I shall have those next to me handy. And I washed all these little palettes that I've been using. But I think I'm going to use these colours. So I moved those into there. So we have like the coldish yellows, and then I was making a gamboge and all the way around. And this is before I had all the colours. I made them out of, I think I had 12 colours here. So you can see I was making a purple, some greens with different blues. Because I didn't have French ultramarine, so I made French ultramarine with cerulean blue and the dioxazine purple. So we can mix those two together, and I thought I'd use that palette. Haven't got my plastic one back yet, my nice one, so I can work more detail into those as well. I think that's a bit clumsy. I want to work on there, but it's just a bit of a press. So I think I'll have to work on this little pale one here. But I kind of like that. It sits quite nicely. Make sure that it's dry. So I think I might work on here and see if I can work out some more feathers. Because I think you have to work backwards if you're doing feathers rather than forwards. So I'm going to work on this and see if I can actually finish a page. So I'm going to come back. I'll finish this video. It's 2 hours, and I'll come back for an hour and a bit. So thanks for joining me, guys. I should be back live in a few minutes, and I'm just going to make myself a drink. Thanks for watching.